What's up, everybody? This is the Angry Cheesehead, and today we're going to talk about Week 10 predictions of the NFL. And, boy, it's nuts. We're in tank ball. Green Bay's not doing good. Nobody's really doing good. It's all about surprises. Vikings keep getting bailed out. Packers not good. But you know what? Let's just go ahead and start talking. So, to start things off, you got for Thursday Night Football, the Atlanta Falcons taking on the Carolina Panthers, NFC South rematch, this time in Charlotte. The Falcons and the Panthers both losing to their opponents last week. The Panthers lost to the Bengals, and they just looked like disaster. The Falcons kept retrying that choke bowl from 2020. I literally called it a choke bowl, and guess what? I was right. But eventually, the Chargers end up winning that game. Of course, this is going to be a tighter matchup, even though this is going to be a laughable Thursday Night Football game. The only primetime game for either team. But I think the Falcons are going to win here. I think their offense is going to be more stable, whereas the Panthers are their defense might give a little bit of problems, but it's not going to be enough while PJ Walker, Baker Mayfield not doing well, and they're probably starting Sam Darnold. So, next up, you got the final morning game for internationals, and that is going to be in Germany. The Seattle Seahawks taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Both teams coming off with a win. The Seahawks beating Cardinals and showing who's daddy. The Buccaneers surviving against the LA Rams from a final last-second touchdown to win the game. This is going to be pretty lost. I know Brady's going to be celebrating happy that he finally got his first win as a single man in the NFL, but now, it's going to be Geno time. Seahawks are going to win in Germany. So, further their lead in the NFC West. Following that, to finish off the NFC South, we got the New Orleans Saints taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Saints, oh boy, couldn't handle themselves against Baltimore. The Steelers coming off a bye, but looking pretty trashy as hell. They just can't both teams can't get anything right. They're really struggling. They're in tank bowl status. I am going to pick I'm going to pick the Saints to win because, honestly, even though the Steelers secondary is okay, I still think the Saints have a better defense, and they can actually do what they can. I mean, if they could shut out the Raiders, they could try and do something against Pittsburgh, but I'm sure Pittsburgh might get lucky. So it could be either or, but I'm picking the Saints. Following that, you got the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Buffalo Bills. Vikings once again got bailed out against the Commanders because the Commanders were still incompetent. Keep that list going, like I said, but they're winning games. The Bills somehow losing to the New York Jets. Josh Allen looking pretty injured, but that's day to day. Hopefully he gets back up. I'm gonna pick the Bills to win this one. I think the Vikings are gonna get their second loss of the season, as long as their high flying offense still does well and their defense smacks the hell out of the Vikings. I know I'm a homer for being a Packer fan, but Bills, I will love you if you did this. Please murder the Vikings. Thank you. Following that, speaking of NFC North matchups, you got the Detroit Lions taking on the Chicago Bears. The Bears losing in a close fashion against the Miami Dolphins because their offense is flying, even though their defense is not doing great. Meanwhile, the Lions held the Packers to 9 points, winning 15-9, making the Packers definitely locale of the week, which is I'm just cheering at and both upset at the same time because anarchy. I'm going to pick the Bears to win this. I think their offense would be more stable than what the Packers did last week against the Lions. So, Bears should not have a problem, but their defense just needs to be straightened up. And they can win this. So, Bears for the win. Following that, you got the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. Jaguars coming off with a win against the Las Vegas Raiders. The Chiefs coming off with a tough win against the Tennessee Titans. Both teams are just eyeing for another win, and honestly, this is going to be an easy pick. I'm going Chiefs. Even though the Chiefs do look like they kind of struggle a little bit. Jacksonville's defense might do something, but even then, I still trust the Patty Mahomes and his offense. Chiefs for the win. Following that, you got the Cleveland Browns taking on the Miami Dolphins. The Browns coming off a bye, but really just struggling to get it together and just being like the Browns of old. The Dolphins coming off with a close win against the Chicago Bears, facing a tough battle. And it's not going to get easier unless you're like maybe the Texans or the Packers. Then that's guaranteed wins. But they got the rest of the division. They got the Chargers and the 49ers, so it's going to be tough. But otherwise, we got the Browns to face off the final AFC North battle for the Dolphins. I am going to pick the Dolphins to win this. I don't think the Browns are good enough. Their defense is sloppy. Their offense is sloppy. And I just think the Dolphins can come away with a win. Might be dirty, but it'll come away with a win. Following that, you got the Houston Texans taking on the New York Giants. The Texans, being like that scene outside with SpongeBob and Patrick outside the Salty Spittoon, but SpongeBob is Philly and Patrick is Houston, and he just beats himself up, he was kicking SpongeBob's ass. Nonetheless, they tried. They did their best. Sorry, Texans. You couldn't do it. Meanwhile, the Giants just still wrecking it. Even though they're coming off a bye after losing to Seattle, they are still a tough contender in a very tight division in the NFC East. This is going to be an easy call. I'm going New York on this one, but don't be shocked that the Texans actually try again this season, but this game, but then again, I doubt it. Following that, you got Denver Broncos taking on the Tennessee Titans. The Broncos coming off a bye after beating the Jaguars in London. Meanwhile, the Titans, close battle against the Chiefs, but they couldn't finish them off. They really struggled. But now you got a little bit of an easier matchup for the Titans. I'm going to pick them to win. Titans are going to win. Broncos aren't going to do anything because the Broncos are going to realize, oh, wait, we're back in the States. We're going to let Russ cook another raw chicken and feed it to everyone else. And by cook a raw chicken, I mean do nothing at all except spit on it and piss on it. And puke. And serve it as some sort of weird culinary dish. So Titans are going to win. Following that, you got another Tank Bowl matchup. You got this rematch from last year. You got the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Vegas Raiders. Both teams were looking for playoff spots when they faced against each other last year. This year, oh God, they look horrible. The Colts only putting up 3 points against a wrecking crew of a Patriots team that sacked Sam Ehlinger 9 times because the O-line sucks. The Raiders losing against the Jaguars. When the Jaguars just came back, it looks sad. It was a sad battle. This is probably going to be another sad battle that both fans probably don't want to see, but I do think that the Vegas Raiders are going to redeem themselves this week. They shouldn't have a problem here. The Colts are weaker, honestly, and with Jeff Saturday as the new coach, yeah, it ain't going to do them any better. Following that, you got the Arizona Cardinals taking on the LA Rams. The Cardinals could not both teams actually losing this past week. Cardinals against the Seahawks, the Rams against the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers was a last-second touchdown. The Cardinals just couldn't do anything against the Seahawks. Still getting hammered down because Cliff Kingsbury is a freaking moron. But I'm not a Cardinal, but speaking from my buddy who's a Cardinal fan. But this is going to be another Tank Bowl matchup for the NFC West. Just get up there somewhere to try and catch up to San Francisco. But honestly, I do think the Rams could hold an advantage here. Just a slight bit. I think the defense could maybe do something if they can straighten up, and Cooper and maybe Matthew Stafford could pull out something out of his ass. But I don't know. It could be 50-50, but I'm picking the Rams. Following that, you got the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Green Bay freaking Slackers, because apparently they slack on the football field 5 times in a row already. Dallas coming off with a bye week, looking like they're ready to rip and tear anyone's in front of them, and apparently the next victim is the Green Bay Packers, who lost to Detroit 15-9. Rodgers throwing all these interceptions and kept playing hero ball and all that junk, and looking like a freaking nightmare. And thank you Tree, if you're watching this, for locale of the week. I appreciate it. Then again, I feel hurt, but still, I'm still a Packer fan, but I'm still maybe it's a wake-up call, but I don't know. I am going to pick the Cowboys here because I don't think the Packers could do anything, really. I mean, yeah, we got Jonathan Abrams that we claimed off the Raiders, but even then, that's not going to do much. So, Cowboys with a win. Following that, you got, for Sunday Night Football, you got the LA Chargers taking on San Francisco 49ers. A nice Super Bowl rematch. Chargers losing to the Falcons in a choke bowl matchup. Or no, they actually beat the Falcons, I'm sorry. The 49ers coming off a bye week. Still a bit beat up, but really doing what they can to be a good football team. I am going to pick the 49ers to win this one, to keep their spot in the division high. And as for the Chargers, well, they still got that much contention, other than maybe Kansas City, but that's it. And finally, you got an NFC East matchup between the Philadelphia Eagles and Washington Commanders. Washington losing to Minnesota, Philly beating Texans. I'm going Philly. Easily. Even though Washington's defense could be okay. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. The Ravens, the Patriots, the Bengals, and Jets get a bye week, so they get to relax. But until next time, this is the Angry Cheesehead saying, Package Garden Tank Bowl. Let's see if we can get the rock bottom. Woo! Let's go second locale of the week.